DJ Rose.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Hold up. I can't wait till y'all hear what I did to this. Shout out to the boy Jones. He produced the fuck out of this shit. Well, Jones. I ought to give y'all a little bit right now. Yes. We're back. I appreciate the love. It's your boy. It's your boy.
DJ Rose.
And we are back for another podcast. I stopped doing it weekly because it was too much. I feel like I'm not giving each episode enough time for me to properly promote it. So I do appreciate all of the reposts, all of the shares, everybody who grabbed the link and sent it to somebody else. I appreciate all of you. And just keep that up, man. If you ain't doing it, help me out. You know what I'm saying? If you enjoy the podcast, if you just like it, comment, because activity is what makes things grow. So even if you don't like it, just like it because you're trying to help me out. You know what I'm saying? But this week's episode is a questions episode. I get questions daily. Like, I don't know. Like, I think my calling is to be a talk show host or something because, like, I get questions daily. And that might be dope. It might be super dope because they don't got really like a young talk show host that's really talking about what we really go through. You got people like Steve Harvey, and they ain't really in that 80s range and dealing with the same problems we dealing with as far as like technology and what's going on. That might be kind of dope. Or to talk about relationships and give a real opinion to like couples. And you know what, let me shut up. Let me tuck that away. It might be a nice little pitch or something. But this week's episode, I think we're at episode 10. You know what was encouraging? I want to share this with y'all. This was super encouraging to me because, like, I'm a big fan of the Joe Budden podcast. I'm a huge fan. I watch it every week. I don't miss an episode. Majority because I see a lot of myself in Joe Budden. We think the same way. We analyze things. We pick things apart the same way. And I like, Rory and Mal because they add what they add, So I'm a big fan. And like 2 weeks ago, because this podcast shit and like spreading your own brand without other people's help or without paying somebody to do it, it's hard to do. And sometimes it gets discouraging when you are a creative and you put so much effort into dope things and then you see somebody just do some bullshit and they go crazy for doing some bullshit and you're like, what am I thinking and putting things together and trying to work on the master plan for if I could just do this simple dumb shit and be in a position where I have the attention I want as far as trying to build a career around what I'm doing. And so it got discouraging a little bit, not too much, but it was just a thought. And then with the Joe Budden podcast 2 weeks ago, they just got signed to Spotify. And he shared like the struggles of the podcast. And he was saying like how they went through, adding people, taking people away. And then I learned the entire time, I think they're on episode 177. And until they just got signed with Spotify, all of them was doing that shit for free. The engineer, the cameraman, the Joe, Rory, Ma, all of them was doing that shit for free. 177 episodes in before they made any money off of their podcast. And I was like, damn, that's a grind. That's 177 episodes before receiving a dime. Like, because they didn't even have ads in their YouTube videos, so their video played straight through. So they wasn't making money off the ads that play in between the video. So they weren't even making ad money, because in order to have ad money, you kind of gotta tone down how you talk, and you can't be, the FCC rules and radio rules and all that extra stuff and things that people want to promote as they brand. They can't have a brand on your podcast if you're talking about something that's going to discredit their brand. So that kind of censored them. So to keep from censoring them, they didn't add ads to their what's name, which makes a lot of sense from a creative standpoint. But a lot of people look at money, which it paid off, because there's a lot of deals that they turned down in order to get where they at now, and that's a major deal with Spotify. So that was encouraging to me to keep going, keep pressing on. Not that I had gave up on the podcast or nothing like that. I was thinking about stopping, but you need that. I'm always looking for inspiration. I'm always looking to be motivated. I'm self-motivated, but I eat up inspiration. I love to be around inspiration. I love to be around people who inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing. That's why I hang around the few people that I do, because they inspire me to keep going. And I also inspire them. But let me get off that. Just trying to share that with y'all. But so today's episode is a questions episode. A lot of people was mad at me last week because they thought I was going to do a deep dive into why do men cheat. And I got cussed out by a lot of people. A lot of people was telling me they made dinner prepared to sit down and gain some knowledge. And here I come with this 4-minute podcast about nothing. So I do apologize. I thought it was funny. A lot of people thought it was funny. I thought it was funny as hell. Because I was thinking about it. I was writing stuff down. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that. But what I will do, I will address that question, right? So it was, why do men cheat? Now, there is no one answer. This is the number one question. So we started with question number one is, why do men cheat? Because it's a follow-up from the last one, since I didn't give off nothing for that. So basically, there is no right answer to this. There is no one reason. There is no two reasons. There is no three reasons why men cheat, right? It automatically depends on the situation and what each couple is doing, what's not being done, what they have agreed on, what the expectations are. It's just, that's why I just gave up on the question, because you can't really answer that. It's like, how do you answer that question? Because it's a million reasons why anybody can cheat, man, woman, whatever. So it's not, that's why when I was writing and putting my thoughts together for the podcast, I was like, bro, this is an impossible question to answer. It's like, it's impossible. And that's why I just boiled down to men cheat for the same reasons women cheat. There's a billion reasons why either one could cheat. Now, is cheating wrong? That also depends on who calls what cheating. I mean, I've seen a lot. I've heard a lot. I've lived through a lot. I've seen a lot. So it just depends on people's perspective of what's wrong or right, and what's the agreement in each individual relationship. So that's a broad answer to that question. I mean, you could deep dive in it, but what's the point? Like, it's just a million reasons why anybody would cheat. So the next question, and the rest of these questions is questions I got from the people. So don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at my answers. These is questions from the people. So the next question, and I only picked, besides the why do men cheat, I only picked 8 questions out of the ones I saw, because a lot of them were like repetition questions of what I could probably answer out of these 8. So I pulled these 8. So the first one is, do you think that sex has been, I can't even read my own writing. Do you think that sex has been too normalized? Yes. I mean, it's just weird now, like, I remember growing up and like, if you could sneak a rub on a girl's booty in middle school, nigga, that made your week. Like, nigga, you was the man. Like, you touched who booty? Nigga, you touched who booty? Like, I bet, how long you touched it? 3 seconds? 2 seconds? Nah, it was just 1 second. Oh, you like, nigga, you just touched it. Like, that was made a nigga weak. But now, like, these 10 and 11-year-olds is like sending pornographic videos to each other. It's like, it's become like too normalized. But then I also see the other side of it is like, we've made sex this like taboo thing. And because sex is this taboo thing that parents don't talk to their kids about. Like, my parents didn't talk to me about sex. I was just told, don't do it. So everything that I'm good at, you know what I'm saying? I had to work on that on my own. You know what I mean? So, like, I had to learn on my own. So I get it, but it's so taboo now that people don't, you know, it's like in your face, but don't talk about it. It's weird. It's a weird back and forth because it's like, you know, sex is on everything. It's on TV shows. It's on, you know, everything is about sex. It's sex this, sex that. I'm in all these groups and we talk about sex a lot. It's like, it's just everything is sex, 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 sex. And you scroll your Instagram and all these angles and curves and it's just everywhere. It's like sex, sex, sex. Like, you want to see a porno, you can get to it in 3 seconds. Go to your Safari and go to your favorites. They right there. Y'all know y'all got some links saved. But yeah, man, I think it has, man. I think sex has become normalized, but I also think that it's like normalized, but like still taboo. Like, people don't, you know, want to talk about it. You know, it's just some, you know, just do it. Like, I don't know. But my answer to that question is yes, it has become super normalized. It's all over the place. The next question is, what is your definition of love? I don't know anymore. I used to think I knew, but I really don't know anymore. It's like, I understand what I have been natured to think love looks like, right? But I also understand the entities that have natured me into thinking that, and then looking at the bigger picture and just, you know, I don't know anymore. I don't have a complete understanding of what love between a man and a woman is supposed to be, because I mean, since birth, we've always been fed the fairy tale, like, you know, and it's still grown people, you know, thinking that the fairy tale of love is real, and they're searching for that, and they're stressing themselves out for looking for this fairy tale love, and it's like, it's fairy tale. But we've been trained since like Disney movies to think it's gonna be this fairy tale. I meet you 2 days, and on the 4th day we're in love and you want to be together forever, and we ride off into the sunset. And like, I don't know if y'all is out here living in this real world, but that ain't how shit go. The numbers are there. They don't lie. So at some point, we all have to take a sit and think about, what is love supposed to look like? It's a hard question to answer, because it's a bunch of stereotypes of what it's supposed to be, you know, what it's supposed to be. You got women thinking men should pay their bills, and that's love. Or a man thinking a woman should be submissive to him, and that's love. It's like, it's a weird space. I mean, I was talking about on my Insta story the other day how people don't even have a conversation of what they think love is. You could be with somebody and you say that you're in love with them, and they say they're in love with you, but y'all have 2 different meanings of what love is. But neither person wants to sit down and have that conversation to get an understanding. They just have expectations of what that love is supposed to be from that other person, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, if I love you and you love me, we need to have a conversation on what love means. But we never have that conversation. We just have expectations from each other of what it's supposed to be. Oh, you're supposed to do this because you said you love me. Because when you say you love me, that means this. And if you don't do this, then you don't love me. Which in a man's eyes or a woman's eyes cannot be true, because their definition of what love is completely different. But that conversation doesn't get had, so it's the confusion between the two. But the base of that is the communication. People don't know how to communicate effectively. People just know how to talk at each other. Nobody listens to understand. Everybody listens to respond. And because that's a continuous thing, you never get anywhere. You never get any growth. You just keep going until you get tired of each other and then move on to the next person and repeat. So I don't know anymore. I think sometimes I feel like the only thing that's real is energy. Energy gets passed back and forth. You can walk into a room and what do you feel? Energy. You don't have to know nobody in there, but you can just walk in the room and you just feel a certain type of energy. I feel like energy is the only thing that's real. Force, energy is the only thing that's real. So love is whatever you and that person, or you and two other people, or you and a household of people, whatever you call love is, whatever the energy that y'all share. As long as that energy that y'all share between each other stays positive, that's love. To me, that's love. Trying to maintain the positive energy between two people, that is love. Working on being the most positive energy towards each other, that is love. Whatever that definition is, whatever your definition of energy or how you transfer energy from one person to the next, I think that is the real definition of love. And I told myself I'm not going to take 30 minutes on each question, so I'm trying to hold myself to that. So the next question is, once again, these are not my questions. These are questions from the people. So this question is, why is eating ass so taboo for men? To me personally, I can't speak for all men. Right? I be around fellas. I know how we talk. I know what we, how the masses of us feel about it. But to me, it's all about cleanliness. Like, if a woman is clean, like, is there something about a clean woman? When a woman is clean and everything is, clean, bare. I'm talking about from the rooter to the tutor, from the front all the way to the back to the top of your ass crack, all the way down. Just everything is clean and just crisp. Then it is what it is. It is what it is. You gotta be clean. I think some men don't want to. I think a lot of dudes do it. I think almost every dude do it. They just don't want people to know that they do it. So it ain't really taboo to me. Like we just talking about earlier about sex being normalized. Like, I don't think it's taboo. I think it's starting to become one of those things that's just like something that's normally done in sex now. It's like, I remember like getting a kiss used to be the biggest thing, but now it's like niggas used to work hard for a kiss. Like, they got to put in work for a kiss. But now, like we said, sex has been normalized now. So, but I don't think it's taboo. I think it's only taboo for men who are not comfortable in their own skin. Me, I'm me. I don't care what anybody else thinks about who I really am. I'm me. So I don't think it's taboo. I just think those are men who are unsure of themselves and they worried about what everybody else think about their opinion or what they do. So I don't really think it's taboo, but it is what it is. And I try to mix it up because I didn't only get, relationship type questions. So the next question is, who is in your top 5 rappers? Now, number 1 is solidified. We don't even got to talk about that. It's Hove all day. Anybody who knows me knows that. And nobody wants to debate that because you can't debate with me, whether it's on the court or the microphone. I call it the court. On the court or off the court, nobody is messing with Hove. Whether we talk about money, whether we talk about hits, whether we talk about albums, whether we talk about longevity, whether we talk about high level of rap, like business, got the baddest queen in the world. Like, where's the flaws? And on top of all that, nigga didn't even graduate high school. No degrees, no business degrees, no not. Just a hustler. gaining information and applying it. I'm getting to talking. Now when you say rapper, right? I'm gonna put Eminem second because the things that Eminem can do, like the different flows and the rhyme, like if you go listen to the song Rap God, like go listen to the song Eminem Rap God. Crazy as far as rapping, right? But M don't make the best songs to me, like he don't make the best songs to me. So I gotta put him in there because the question was who is the top 5 rappers. Eminem is a top 5 rapper, right? My third, and the reason I'm not going to include, I'm only going to talk about people who's alive, right? Because Tupac, Biggie, rest in peace, we get that, you know, that's in everybody's. They out of here. That's legends. Like they ain't even. We talking about people still alive. My third is Fab, because people forget. People look at Fab like Fab 26. Like Fab is 40 plus. Like Fab, I think it just turned either. I think Fab might be like 45. And to be able to have the longevity and just maintain a career and also put out dope music and maintain a career that long, Fab is probably the only one who's been as relevant, well not as relevant, because has consistent relevancy of Hove. Not on Hove's level, but he's been consistent. So Fab is in my top 3. 4, now, this might be, people might not know who this is, but 4 is Loaded Lux. Like, I don't know if people understand, but this man is not from this planet. Like, when it comes to rapping, like, anybody who don't know who Loaded Lux is, I need you to go to YouTube, type in Loaded Lux, Lux, Funk Master Flex Freestyle. That's just one thing that's gonna let you know what's really going on. There's more links I could tell you about, but that's one thing that's gonna really let you know this guy's a problem, right? It's a problem. So Loaded Lux is in my 4th, because we just talking about just rappers now who make the best music, not who's the best showmanship or the best entertainer or all of that. But Loaded Lux is my number 4. My number 5, it's tough. It's tough for that 5th spot because I want to give it to Jadakiss, but I also want to give it to Benny Siegel, because it's like, I don't know, man. When Benny Siegel was with The Rock, he was I was a whole fan, but I was waiting for Benny verse to come on because I know he about to talk that talk that Jay was on that fly, nigga, I'm fly out of out, but that see. When Jadakiss and Benny Siegel was beefing back in the day, they was going back and forth. That was real battle rap. Them niggas was, if you don't know about the Jadakiss and Benny Siegel, go do your research. I tell you, everything's on YouTube. Listen, YouTube is the video Google. You didn't see it, you missed it, go to YouTube, it's there. Jadakiss and Benny Siegel, that battle was crazy. And then it turned into state property and The Rock versus the Lox. We got some crazy bars out of that battle. So that's who I'm gonna give. I'm gonna make it a tie. Jadakiss and Benny Siegel was like 4 and 5 for me, and that's just rappers. That ain't who got the best records, who got the best hits. None of that. That's just rappers, people who rap. All right, what's the next question? Oh, how do you feel about no sex before marriage? Now, I've always thought this is the stupidest thing in the world, like, because we cannot teach that we're looking for love to last forever, right? And no one in their right mind would sign up for something that is forever without, you don't buy a car without test driving it. You don't do that. Like, nobody buys a car before test driving it. So I remember when I was growing up in church, they were saying you wasn't supposed to live with the person until you married them. You wasn't supposed to have sex with them until you married them. You wasn't supposed to be at their house after 9 o'clock. if you wasn't married. Like, so my thing is, okay, if I can't have sex with you before I marry you, your sex might be trash. Now, I know people say, if you love them, you'll work with them on their sex. This is true. But I've been in situations before where people who had bad sex, and I helped them and worked with them. But some people just don't have it. It is a skill. It's not a thing that just comes with having a human body. Being able to have sex well is a skill. Some people are blessed with it, some people are not. Everybody doesn't have great sex. So it is a skill. Some people, like some people who can't dance, some of those people, you just can't teach them how to dance because they just don't have it. Some people who want to rap, you can't teach them how to rap because they just don't have it. It's just that simple. So the same thing with sex. So you can't say, oh, if you love them, you could just teach them. No, some people don't have it. It's just not there. They just don't get it. It's just not sexy. It's just not sexual. It's what it is. I feel like the woman and the man both have the right to know that before you sign up for something that's forever. Boom. The next thing, not living with each other before you get married. You can know someone, you don't know someone until you live with someone. All that coming over to your crib, yeah, you know I'm coming, you got the house clean, you done cleaned up, you washed the dishes, yeah. You come over to my place, oh, it's clean, I done, did this, dusted that off, I got company coming, right? But it's different when you live with each other, when people start leaving their drawers on the floor and you want to watch TV, but they want to watch something else. And it's different. You don't know a person until you live with that person. If you don't live with them, you don't know that person. So boom. So I'm not supposed to have sex with you, but I know nothing about you sexually, right? Which is a huge part of any relationship, sex. Secondly, I don't really know you because I can't live with you before I get married. Then I can't be at your house after 9 o'clock. That's how we was taught growing up in the church. These was the rules that God came down and don't get me started, but yeah, so I never understood the no sex before marriage. Like, it doesn't make sense. How am I signing up for something that we're taught to last forever? You're never supposed to get a divorce. Be with that person forever. Work it out. Go to counseling. Figure it out, right? How is somebody supposed to figure it out if they don't know what they signing up for? Like, just think about two virgins, right? Now, me growing up, I've had sex with a few virgins. They are the lowest of the sexual experiences in my life. The lowest. That's why I used to never understand why the Arabs or the people, whoever was on the planes, right? They would sacrifice themselves to go be in heaven with 12 virgins. I never understood that because having sex with a virgin is not fun. There's nothing exciting about that. I never understood the glory in going to wherever this place was that you're supposed to go after you sacrifice yourself on a plane. To be with 12 virgins. Like, have y'all not had sex with a virgin before? It's not fun. It's not. It's a lot of, oh, stop, stop, It's the first time it's going to be like that. Like, it's not fun. So I never got the glory in having 12 virgins for sacrificing yourself. But anyway, so just thinking about two virgins, a dude who's never had sex with a woman before, a woman who's never had sex with a man before, and then they just go on a honeymoon. Can you imagine how bad that honeymoon is? Two unexperienced people who never had sex ever before. That's probably the worst honeymoon ever. Could you imagine two virgins having sex? No experience at all? Yeah, y'all could glorify it and try to make it feel like it's going to be a beautiful thing. They're going to grow together. Nigga, shut up. No. Two virgins? No way. That's got to be the worst honeymoon ever. So back to my point. I think that I've answered that. I think that the no sex before marriage is some bullshit that somebody made up, and there it is. Right. Next question. How do you feel about interracial dating? So, I think it's cool. I think it's cool for whoever is cool with. If those two people are happy and being from two different backgrounds and two different cultures, whatever makes those two people happy. Me personally, in my experiences, I just don't have anything in common with other cultures. And so, because I don't have anything in common, or do I want to learn anything about your culture, I feel more comfortable being with somebody of my own race. Now, I've seen situations that have curbed that knowledge, and that's mainly, I don't know, just it's and when you just being brought up in our culture is, it's like an unspoken rule. Like, you better not bring no white girl home. Like, it's like an unspoken rule amongst black culture. It's like, I won't say all, but majority. It's like, it's just a weird thing. I remember growing up, one of my family members brought a white woman home, and I'll never forget when she first walked in that door, and just everybody's look on everybody's face. It was like, and this is before cell phones, so a nigga could text you and be like, nigga, do you see what the hell? But I mean, she came in and my family loved her. Like, at first there was a little hesitation, but after a while, my family fell in love with her. I mean, and she wasn't trying to be something she wasn't. She just be herself, and family fell in love with her. Plus, she was the plug for the kicks. So, anyway, I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. In my experiences, like I say, it's things that happened during my lifetime that curbed that. I mean, I remember in college, one of my homeboys was messing with this girl, and she was the type to, how do I say this? She was very, 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 very promiscuous with a lot of gentlemen. I think I said that the best PC way I could. So she was very, very promiscuous with a lot of gentlemen with very little effort, I would say. But you always got that one guy. They always got that one guy who always falls in love with the promiscuous woman. And he wants to do his own thing. So I remember he went to this promiscuous white girl's house. Nobody ever went to her house. She used to come up to the dorms and, be promiscuous. So he decides to go to her house. The dad comes home while they're upstairs having sex. She's hollering, not because she's being raped, but because they're having sex. So, the dad comes to home, the door's already open. So now he's like, okay, why is my front door open? So he's on guard. He walks in the house, he hears his daughter upstairs yelling. So now he's like, okay, the door is already open. My daughter's upstairs yelling. He runs upstairs, opens the door, and what do you think? I want to say her name, but I'm not going to say her name. What do you think Sally Sue said when her dad walked in and saw this gentleman on top of her? She said, rape. He went to jail. Even in court, they brought people to be character witnesses, saying that, hey, this girl, was promiscuous with everybody. Like, she's been with these guys several times, like, no problems or nothing. Her lawyer flipped it and was like, because she said yes so many times, she said no this time. and he took it, which was some bullshit, some lawyer flipping shit, some Johnny Cochran shit. And he went to jail for breaking and entering and attempt to rape. So it's situations like that that I've seen people go through. It kind of curves your, it's not, it gives you that weird feeling of it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. To find out, it's not even worth it because it's race and all that stuff is so emotional and everybody's so sensitive right now and, can't talk about anything. So if it works for you, it works for you. If it don't work for you, it don't work for you. I don't have nothing against it. I don't feel nothing about it. It just is what it is. I have my own personal, it's what I like. There's nothing wrong with having a preference. It doesn't mean you hate what you don't have a preference for. There's nothing wrong with having a preference. So, yeah, I love everybody, just not in the same way. So, what's the next question? Oh, this is the last and final question. Can relationships be successful after threesomes? Okay, so this is tough. So with relationships, you should, as a man, I would never have if I have a girlfriend, I would never have a threesome with her if she was not super secure. You in those situations, you gotta be super secure. I am a person who has, I've indulged before. And so I know from experience that both people have to be super secure. And then also, fellas, if you're working on this, you have to make sure that both people are comfortable, but you also have to make sure that your woman is more comfortable in the situation, right? But if you have a super secure woman that can handle that, I think that's super dope. I don't care what nobody says about your judgment. I don't care. But I think that's super dope. But in order for it to be successful, you cannot do it with a girl who is insecure. It's not going to work. The whole time she's going to be thinking, is she doing it better than I am? And it's not about that. It's not a competition. It's about everybody enjoying each other sexually. It's not a competition. It's not, because women are starting, their mind is starting to run. Who is this girl? Why is she trying to take my man from me? And then don't let her actually be better at sex in the moment. Then it's going to get sticky and weird. And it's just, you gotta have secure people. It has to be 3 secure people, right? It has to be. If it's not that, it's never gonna work. Ever going to work. Ever gonna work. It's never, it will never ever work. It will never ever work. Females are in too much competition with each other. It's kind of weird. It's weird how females are so much in competition with each other that they compete at looking alike. Think about that. Females are in so much competition with each other that they compete at looking the same. Don't start me to preaching, man. I literally be out, and I'm not talking about just, oh, you a DJ, you in the club, that's why you be experiencing the same with, no, I be in the different places. I'm cultured. I be in different places. Everybody looks the same. And it's you just look around like, damn, everybody look the same. Who got the originality? Who gonna come with the originality? Who gonna be original? Anyway, that's got nothing to do with what I'm saying. But it does have something to do with what I'm saying. I'm talking about the competition between women and why threesomes is just, it's kind of sketchy, man. It's sketchy. It's sketchy if you're doing it with the wrong people. If you're doing it with the right people, Jesus Christ. Good times. Good times. Great times, man. And first of all, women be fronting. The way y'all just be rubbing on each other booty all the time and rubbing on each other and kissing and doing all that stuff, like y'all like that. Y'all be faking the funk. Like you just need to be comfortable with the right people, and all that rubbing and kissing, that fake rubbing and kissing you be doing is gonna turn into something real. I feel all women are bi-curious. I just feel like all women are. The way y'all be talking about each other ass and titties, and I think all y'all bi-curious if you ask me. But yeah, back to the question. So, do I think relationships could be successful after threesomes? If you went into it with an understanding with all three people, and the girl understands that, yo, this is sex, we're having fun. After this though, you got to go, cause me and Bae gotta go to sleep, cause we got work in the morning. When you got it understood like that, and everybody knows their role and plays their part, it's amazing. No harm done. But when it starts to get sketchy and you talking to the third wheel and y'all linking up and doing all that, then you just doing too much. And no, it's not going to be successful after the threesome because you're doing too much. Everybody has to play their role, respect all roles going into the situation. I know plenty of people who do it all the time and the right way, and I'm jealous. They do it. I know couples right now who have threesomes all the time. And the role is understood, and the girl sets it up. Cause it's always sketchy when the guy brings a girl, like, cause the girl is like, okay, nigga, what you see in this girl that you want her? No, you let the girl set it up. That's what's dope. She sets it up. She bring in who she like. Cause niggas is nasty. Niggas will damn near smash anything. Niggas with no morals. Niggas be so excited about the threesome, they don't give a damn you bring Precious in that. Don't disrespect the Precious, but you know what I'm saying. You can bring Precious in there, niggas just be excited. So long as, make sure the girl is comfortable. Make sure the woman is completely comfortable. She's comfortable with the girl. She's comfortable with the situation. So let the woman pick all the time, every time. But anyway, I ain't coming to give y'all lessons on how to have a threesome. But yeah, like I said, it just depends on how solid both people are, how secure both people are, how conscious of each other those two people are to bring in a third person, how in tune those two people are to bring in a third person into your energy, into your space. And making sure that this person understands what energy they need to bring in order to be a part of this space. Then y'all come together, have great energy. That person takes away their experience of good energy. We go to sleep with our experience of good energy and carry on with our lives. But yeah, that was the last and final question. That was the last and final question. Next we got coming is the deeply opinionated conversations, right? And the next episode is going to be, I ain't gonna give it away. I was about to give it away, but I'm not gonna give it away. So, like I said, we're doing every other week now because I want to give each episode room to breathe. I want to give each episode life because I feel like if I do it every week and I'm dropping on Thursday, by the time I get to Tuesday, which is only like, 4 days of promo, then I'm already ready to start talking about the next Thursday. So I think each podcast deserves more than 4 days of promo before I'm talking about the next one. So I'm going to do every other week going forward just to be able to promote it correctly and do what I do to get it to the people. So that's the move, every other week from now on. But the next one is going to be the deeply opinionated conversations. I'm having a special guest for that, very special. What's going on? So I'm having very special guests for that. Yeah, I'm not gonna give it away yet, but it's gonna be a good one. So until then, right? Until then, it's your boy
DJ Rose.
And we gonna get out.
DJ Rose.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?